Jared Goff is going to win MVP this year, and that's what I'm going to be trying to prove to you in this video. Let's get into it. So this is going to be my yearly video where I try to explain to you guys why I think Jared Goff is going to win MVP and why I think the Lions are going to be good. Now, normally I am a Rams channel. However, I do really like Jared Goff. I've made lots of videos on why I think we shouldn't have traded Jared Goff. Trust me, I'm a big Matthew Stafford fan. I just think Jared Goff, we traded him in his prime and gave up picks, but that's for another video that you guys can watch on my channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about why Jared Goff can possibly win MVP this year and why the Lions should be a team to be feared in the NFL. So that's what we're going to be talking about. First off, I want to say, hey, the Lions went, 9-7 last year. This is going to be PFF right here. Sorry, 9-8. There's 17 games in the season now, and they were points scored 453 for 5th in the league. In terms of grades, they were 8th in terms of PFF and 29th on defense. Now, here's the thing: the Lions have a very, very young, team, so they are going to be growing as the years go by, and they're only going to do better. So that's the first thing, and also. So the Lions started at 1-7. They ended up 9-8. That is very good momentum to be bringing into the next year. Would have been awesome if they could have made the playoffs. However, they just dropped that one game down the stretch that they probably should have won. And, here we are. But either way, we're first going to talk about Jared Goff. Last year, he had 4,438 yards, 29 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and a QBR of 61. That's a over 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Over the last 8 or 9 games, I believe he had the #1 touchdown to interception ratio in the NFL. And that's a big thing that a lot of people said that Jared Goff had a problem with, was turnovers. Well, over the past 2 years, he had 8 interceptions in 2021, 7 in 2022. And in terms of fumbles, he did have 3 fumbles in both the last 2 years. However, only 2 were lost the first year, and then only 1 was lost last year. So a total of 8 turnovers were committed by Jared Goff. So he's pretty much taking care of that part of his game that was hindering him a bit. But yeah, in terms of just his projection, I believe that he's going to do better this year, especially because, they're off to a 1-7 start last year. I believe that the team is only getting better. The offensive line is only getting better. Amon-Ra St. Brown has had another year to get even better, and he was amazing last year as well. And that's kind of where I'm sitting with Jared Goff. He's only 28 years old. A lot of people, he's been in the league 7 years. He came into the league at 21, or maybe 22. He's from Cali, #1 pick, but he's only 28 years old still. He is still in his prime. He's actually just starting his prime. So I see him entering this year as kind of that, dark horse to win the MVP for a couple of reasons. We're going to go over that now. But just to say, I've put up my money where my mouth is. I've put, a good amount of money on Jared Goff to win MVP. And if he does, I'll be a bit of a rich man. I'm not going to say how much I put down, but we'll celebrate together if that does happen. But like I said, 2022, the Lions ended up being a very solid team. The offense was the major bright spot of that. They're going to be facing the Chiefs week 1. And yes, that's a very hard way to open up your schedule. However, I really do believe that the Lions have a chance in this game. I don't think they'll win just because they are at Kansas City, but I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. Either way here, you can check the Lions lineup, and we can go over why I think that Jared Goff has a great chance to win this year. So what does an MVP usually have? And that's going to be a good team. You're going to need to be at least 10-7 at the very minimum, most likely in that 11-6 to 12-5 record area if you want to be an MVP in this league. And I definitely think the Lions have the chance to do that. Starting with their defense, I really think that Kirby Joseph is an underrated player here. He made a lot of plays, in very big moments down the stretch for the Lions. So that's a very good. I think he'll progress well during this next season. Not only that, they have Tracy Walker, who's played exceptionally. And also you have, what's his name, Emmanuel Mosley, who I believe played on the 49ers, and he's been a very, very good cornerback. And then also you have CJ Gardner-Johnson, who I believe was on the Saints for a time. He's a great player. Cameron Sutton, he's a 7th-year player here. And not only that, you have one of the best edge rushers in the league, who I believe had 2 picks last year, Aiden Hutchinson. I think he only progresses. He was the 21st ranked by PFF last year, and I think he only progresses, gets a lot of sacks this year. And the Lions have just grown. They're a pretty young team. Most of these guys are going to be younger players that are going to progress and have another training camp, and I think they're going to improve from being the 29th defense to maybe getting in that middle pack, maybe 16th to 17th, and then the offense is where they're really going to take it to that next level. The Lions offensive line is my favorite in the league. I might be a bit biased because of Jared Goff. However, you have Penei Sewell, who has played absolutely phenomenal. He's improved last year to 10th best tackle. And then you also have Frank Ragnow. He's my favorite center in the league. He did take a bit of a step back, but that's his step back from the year before was still 5th best center in the league. And then also you've got Jonah Jackson, who's a very solid guard, still a young guy, improving. And then one of my favorite tackles in the league with Taylor Decker. He's going to be a veteran presence. I believe he is 28 or something like that, 29 almost. But he's one of my favorite tackles in the league. So the tackles of the Lions absolutely going to be protecting Jared Goff, and Frank Ragnow, the center, is a very important position. I think that's going to be great. Next up, we got Khalif Raymond, and then also Josh Reynolds. These are 2 really good outside guys. And you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, the type of Cooper Kupp guy who's a 2nd ranked wide receiver last year, according to PFF. And he is only going to be improving going into his 3rd year as long as he stays healthy. It's going to be very solid. Jared Goff has weapons. Not only that, he has Jamar Gibbs. This guy has been touted as one of the best running backs to come out in the last 5 years, and the Lions picked him up at pick number 12, which is very solid. They traded back, got some more picks, and obviously now we got the man, the myth, the legend, Jared Goff. He's been improving from his 2021 season and his 2 seasons before, and I think his stats only go up with the weapons he has with Khalif Raymond, with Amon-Ra St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, and Jameson Williams eventually coming back. He's been causing some trouble. However, if he does get back, that's a very, very good weapon to have. And having the threat of the run game is just going to be absolutely perfect. So that's why I think that the Rams are set up. But in terms of predictions for yards, touchdowns, and everything, I'm going to predict that Jared Goff has about 4,600 yards by the end of the season, that he has above 30 touchdowns. I'm going to go with about 34 touchdowns, and I think he's going to keep his interceptions low at about 8. He'll have about a 63 QBR and above 100 rating, and I think that'll be enough with the Lions being about 12-5 to put Jared Goff in the MVP conversation and hopefully win it. So those are my thoughts on why I think Jared Goff's going to be the MVP this year. Do you think the same? Do you disagree with me? Let me know in the comment section below. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.